Hello Math 1314 students. Let's begin lesson 4, multivariable equations in multivariable spaces. Even though I just said multivariable spaces, we're going to consider only double variable spaces, in other words, two-dimensional plane. In 2000 level pre-calculus, we'll see some 3D geometry in limited basis and again in multivariable calculus. But that's about it. Here in 1000 level, just two-dimension only, so everything is planar, except the final section number 5. We're going to build all those, and then in final section, we're going to consider truly multivariable equations with 3 variables, 4 variables, 5 variables, and so on and so forth as well. Of course, we cannot represent those graphically, so we'll have to do something else. Anyway, let's begin, and we're going to begin with a brief review on coordinate plane here. I'm going to be brief because everybody must know everything here already, otherwise you could not have made into STEM algebra. Here we go. A Cartesian coordinate system, or in other words, rectangular coordinate system, identifies each point on the plane through a pair of real numbers, x, y, defined as the rightward distance and the upward distance respectively. As you can see from these 4 points, 3, 2 blue, -3, 1 red, -2, -3 green, and 2, -2 brown. Let's see, from the origin, 3 steps to the right and 2 steps up. That's how we get this 3, 2 blue. No problem there. How about the red point? From the origin, -3 steps to the right, and then 1 step up. What do you mean by -3 steps to the right? That means 3 steps to the left, and then 1 step up. Same goes to green. From the origin, 2 units to the left, because this is -2, so -2 units to the right, that means 2 units to the left. And then 3 units down. You see, it's -3, so -3 units up, which means 3 units down. And then from here, 2, -2, 2 units to the right, 2 units down. You see, -2 units up means 2 units down. You can generalize those into quadrants like these. Quadrants number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Blue, red, green, and brown. X, Y are both positive. X is negative, Y is positive. X, Y are both negative, and finally X is positive and Y is negative, as you saw in those examples. Besides those quadrants, we have coordinate axes. Those on the x-axis. The horizontal distance is some real number x, positive, then to the right, negative, then to the left, but the vertical distance is 0. I don't venture upward or downward at all, so we are looking at x, 0. That's the x-axis. Likewise, the y-axis, 0, y. Those define y-axis. So if you want any point on the x-axis, set y equals to 0 and look for x. If you want a point on the y-axis, set x equals to 0 and look for y value. That's the key. Next, the distance formula. Okay, remember this formula? You don't? Okay, then you can easily deduce it from this picture. The picture explains them all. You're looking for the distance of P1 to P2, so it's basically the hypotenuse of this right triangle. And horizontal is the difference of x coordinate, and vertical is the difference of y coordinate. So horizontal squared plus vertical squared is hypotenuse squared by Pythagorean theorem. And then if you take the square root, you get the distance formula. We're taking squares, so x2 minus x1 squared or x1 minus x2 squared. That makes no difference. Same goes to y coordinate as well. Next, the midpoint formula. Okay, Alright, that's the formula. And yeah, this picture is self-explanatory basically. We are taking the average x-coordinate, as you can see from this blue point here, down here, and then average y-coordinate, as you can see from this green point to the right. So we have average x-coordinate, comma, average y-coordinate. That's how you get the average point, both direction, which is the midpoint. That's about it. And if you're interested, you can go ahead for internal section points, which will probably not appear until pre-calculus later on. And if you're planning to skip pre-calculus, then you don't really need it at all. Okay, so much for section 0. And that is just a review, optional review. We're going to meet again in section 1 in a separate video.